Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Ball of Break. I'm your host, Omari. We back again to drop more gems. We gonna sit down some of them, you feel me?
Can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
All my athletes, men, women, basketball, football, track, baseball, basketball, it don't matter. Lock in. We're about to drop them gems, man. So today's episode will be called Big Team, Big Me. Now, athletes know often in sports, we hear that phrase when saying big team, little me to represent the camaraderie and selflessness and the importance of the team. But I'm here to introduce a different way and a different vibe and a different avenue to show you it can be also big team and big me. Because at the end of the day, us as athletes, we have to understand we are our own brand. We represent ourselves in a sense. We play for an organization or a school institution, whatever you want to label it as, but at the end of the day, we create and we bring our own brands already. So, often in college sports, regardless of what sport you play, we know going into it is always a control factor with college organizations about what you can and can't do, what you can and can't post, how your social media should be ran, or what type of content you can put out to make sure the team's image or school's image is not tarnished or ruined by the things you may say, do, or how you may behave in the video, or something you may be recorded doing by somebody else from not even knowing you being recorded, So it's always, I wouldn't say a control factor in a negative sense, but it is a limitation to what we can and can't do. But we have to understand, if y'all want to protect your own brand, we have to be able to represent our own as well. Like a lot of people may have not noticed, but in sports culture, the NCAA did notice a shift in the importance of social media and marketing. That's what I like in the newer age of sports. That's what a lot of these hype videos and recruitment videos and photo shoots and all of this stuff, us as athletes understand. All of those videos, pictures, and all of this stuff, that stuff goes somewhere to help what? The image, the revenue, the relevance, the recruitment. So all of those things are being beneficial toward the university. That is the football teams or basketball teams or soccer teams or baseball teams. That is them building their brand. So what can athletes do to help us build our own brand outside of our sport? If athletes take a step back, we see now college organizations are introducing us to certain apps or incentives or other things that help us grow in the sense of an athlete. That now we are getting more apps and more connection with schools to help us put out sports photos and things like that of the nature. But having the knowledge and the whereabouts, the fact that you can do more outside of your sport and help yourself build your own brand, now you're protected, is knowledge that we need to get out and not keep it in here, because there are now more things we can do as athletes. That's why I always encourage, now where I am now, I always encourage athletes to start YouTube channels. If you are knowledgeable about certain other things beyond sports, start a podcast. Or even if it's not necessarily something knowledgeable, something you are interested in as a person and want to get out or introduce to other people, start one. Or we notice how the generational shifts are happening now. It's okay for athletes now to start taking more wants and more needs to want to start their own businesses. Athletes are very creative people. And the thing is, we're in a realm to where our creativity as people are being limited because of an image of a school, an image of an organization, a sports team. Now, out of a sense, it is because of protection, and we are younger minds. Everybody's maturity level not the same, and what we may do or say may hurt the school in a way. But I promise you, the way you may be affected by that, how the school may be affected, it may be more hurtful to you than the school. So, for a point to help that, though, I would advise nobody not to say anything or post anything too out of social media, because at the end of the day, like we were talking about now, you do now have to protect your own brand. Because yes, just as much as school may be impacted by consequences or bad decision making or things you may not do the correct way, you can be too. Because look at athletes so often, how much their image and their brand can be hurt by, not statistically, but by their behavior. We know we have met and known plenty of athletes who are great statistically, who are great performance-wise, but their character flaws or their behavior flaws or other things have kept them inhibited to do more as athletes. As athletes, I don't care what sport you play, we all know the girl or guy who was great, but coach kept them off of this because they feel like they may say the wrong thing. We all know the athlete who was great, but coach kept them off of this and the third because they feel like they may not behave or pronunciate or talk or, present themselves in the correct way. So again, that's why we need to make sure we're representing our own brands. I want to encourage athletes to, if you had that idea in the back of your head to, I want to start my own shoes or start my own business or do the third, do it. Let your platform help you. Let where you are prolong you, not prolong, but launch you into what you want to do. Like as athletes, when we do go on these recruitment visits and all the other things what we do for our sport and what we want to do to go into college, what do we do? What do we see first? Everybody goes to social media. I just got an offer from here. I'm taking a visit here, and then after that comes what the in a sense the fame. Your social media gets more attention. The school supporters start to follow you on social media, pay attention to what you do, like your pictures, track your videos, track your stats. So now, why not let those same supporters help you in another lane? Because you love me when I put this uniform on, love me when I come out here to perform in sport. I want that same support in the same direction. Because often athletes don't understand how big we are in a sense. Yes, we may not be professional yet, but being an athlete is something serious. Especially at the college level, it doesn't matter what level you're on. You're a level closer to what you want to do. So let the school work for you while you're working for the school. Because in a sense, yes, we were scholarship athletes or are scholarship athletes, but there are so many more opportunities you can do and can make happen for yourself while playing your sport. So the step one is to help yourself get out of brand, know what you want to do, have a plan, have execution, and know who you want to reach as an audience. Those are the key factors to help yourself build your own brand. I have several friends of mine and also women who are stuttering, but it's so many people I know that have started things and have actually helped them financially, helped them relevance-wise, helped them in all different directions. Because now, as athletes, we start doing things now, laying our own foundation. Now, we see by the time we graduate, by the time we get to that 4th or 5th year, or by the time you get third or fourth year, whatever you want, whatever you're on, you can see by me starting this trade, by me starting this business, by me starting this, whatever I chose to do outside of my sport, this also gives me what? More career options by the time I get to this next step or get to this next chapter in life. Because yes, we may have performed statistically amazing and performed great, but sometimes it just don't work out. But I have my degree and this business to put me so far ahead. I remember there was a point in time where I was getting down and depleted about my major, what I wanted to do, and how I fell out of love with it, and why I started a business, and how that business also helped me with my major, and also helped me give me different ideas and different insight on how this new trade can also push me into a completely different direction. Because now where I am now, you can have your school career, or the possible career you may have started from taking the knowledge and building your own brand while you're here. That was one thing I always took away from one of my former defensive coordinators here at Georgia Southern was, don't work for the school. Let the school work for you. You come in and give enough hours every day or every week, from training to studying to game or travel, whatever it is. You have to understand that an athlete, yes, we doing all this for the school. You can get returns out of your hours. You can. Just like you get tax returns, you can get returns and brand returns from being in this room you're in. So I encourage all athletes, whatever you're doing, make a plan, write it out, understand how it can correlate with your sport and how you can launch yourself into a different realm by letting your sport work for you. So often we see and where we are currently, how college athletics wants to obtain the amateur status, because it's only things change now because athletes getting paid or things like that, but they want to keep the amateur status. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. But at the same time, while we're keeping that status, we're going to be over here on the left side working and grinding and figuring this out too, because it'll be so much more greater beneficial to you as an athlete. Because let's say, for instance, some of you do get to the next stage or next level, whatever it is of your sport. You have to think about forward thinking. Okay, while I was 19, 20, 21, laying the groundwork with this for my business, for my project, for my idea, whatever it is, I was also busting my butt doing this too as an athlete, putting more hours, putting more time, working harder, grinding harder, studying more, putting more hours against the other teams, stuff like that. So now you put those two together and make them correlate. You have unlimited career options, because now we see athletes using in the NFL or NBA or MLB, whatever sport they play, they're using their platform to launch other things. You see how now athletes are now involved in fashion, athletes are involved in music, athletes are involved in merch, so many other things. You don't have to wait to become a professional to put yourself in these realms. You can do this now. So whatever idea you've been sitting on, whatever goal you've been sitting on, whatever you want to do, stop sitting on it and put it on the desk and get it out in front of you. And I promise you, there are people at your universities, there are probably people on the coaching staff or other people who are around you to help you even make these things happen. Yes, I understand people now like the whole security about the NCAA, what you can and can't do and stuff like that. Now, there are ways you need to go about this, and there are ways you need to make sure this is safe for you as an athlete. But I promise you, get your creative control under control and let your creative control be your own freedom to whatever you want to do. Because like we said before in previous episodes, our self-stock is everything. Because and even looking at it from the other realm, you know, some athletes may not be as notarized or as big as the starters or other guys on the team, but that's okay. Use your platform where you are to help you get you whatever you need out of university from your 3, 4, 5 year tenure at the school. Because I promise you, by the time you're a freshman, you know you want to have your own recording company, or not necessarily a recording company, but video making or music, anything like that. Let your platform prolong you to that. You understand? We are getting smarter in 2021. We are getting bigger in 2021. We are realizing now at the front end as athletes, we are the prize. And I want all athletes to understand that, yes, we're in a realm where our education is being paid for. We're in bigger schools, stuff like that. But you have to understand something. As athletes, nothing happens without us. We are the brand. We are the prize. So I understand that through being the NCAA, being college athlete, there are things we have to go about and things we have to go about the correct way, of course. But do not forget who we are in the process. We come into these organizations as our own brand. And the things we may do as people may affect negatively or positively our own brand. So athletes, I don't care if you're a man, woman, 18, 23, however old you are coming to transition from high school to college, let your creativity be displayed on the platform we are on now. Build your own brand. I encourage all athletes who watch Ball or Break, start whatever you want to start. Nurture it just as much as you nurture your time you put in the weight room, just as much as your time you put in the film study, just as much as your time you spend doing your sport. Because we are all, like, this is the generation that we all want to become millionaires, correct? So let what you have going in front of you be your launching pad to obtain whatever you want to in your future. Because you also have to include this life after sport also. So these factors and these keys I want y'all to lock in, take away, write down. In 2021, we are no longer as athletes sitting on our secondary plans. We are no longer putting them on the back burner. You can pull your brand and your thing just as much as you pull anything in the weight room, just as much as you move a body out of the way. Those are all correlations. We can become bigger outside of our sport just as big as we are in it. We have to unlock our minds, unlock our thinking, critical thinking, and just make sure we make a plan for what we want to do. So get after it, make it happen for yourself, make it happen for your brand, and do it for you. We can be big team, little me to win, but we can also be big me, big team to do whatever we want to do also. Man, so take these gems, get them out. This is Amari Thompson. If y'all enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe, like, share, all of that, man. This video for Amari Thompson, Ball or Break. And you know what? We are out.
Hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch, blow the whistle.